corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because he's done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by betonline.ag. Hey there, Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns. Just want to comment and say BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for football, baseball, boxing, golf, and much more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn. After a long weekend, a long last 5 days for all of us, us at Chief Concerns, you guys, everyone in the chat, for the draft shows we've had. So, yeah, it's been a long 5 days, JD. It was probably the longest 5 days of my life.
Ooh, man, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. We had a whole lot of shows, a whole lot of answers, a whole lot of questions, but it came and it went. A lot of little research here and there. But I enjoyed it all. I did. I enjoyed it all. I enjoyed everybody who came out to celebrate with us, the chat, whatever everybody was talking about. What's up, Andrea? About time. Wendy, Charles Driver, Ahmad. Let me see who else. About time. I already said that, I think. Hazy is in here. Newport, good to see you. If you're new to the channel. Maria, Cameron Johnson. Everybody. Good to see everybody. See all your faces. And look, all this was for you all, so we love doing this, but we love doing it and communicating with you all. Lynn Dawson, my man, how you doing, my brother? But, hey, the thing is, it was all for a good time. It was all for a good time, man. So, but I'm glad it's over. Now we can kind of move on. We got our little pieces, right, playing chess. Now we could go ahead and move in the direction that we feel like we're going to go for a three-peat, okay? So you see this. The Roman numeral numbers for 3, that's what those for 3P. That's what that is. That's what that means.
Yeah. No, it was a great weekend. I mean, we had amazing numbers. That was in our time of doing the draft stuff. We had over like 20,000 views on all stuff that we've had. Everything we reported, the live stuff, the Bleacher Report stuff. You guys came out and you guys really gave us told the world what Chief Concerns is about with all the views and all the likes you guys gave us and the engagement. Of course, you guys always give us. So it was really amazing stuff from you guys. And the thing is, I want to say, it's like the staying up late with us. It was a midnight, 1 a.m. You guys are up on here. You guys are engaged. We had like 350 people in a chat one night. We're actually like 2 of the nights we had 250. So like, yeah, you guys are rocking and rolling. We had a lot of new subs too. I think Hazy, first time person in the chat tonight. So there we go. We had the newbies in here.
Love it.
So with tonight's episode, usually over the last few months, we've done the Monday mock. We've broken down position by position on the Chiefs. But tonight, we're kind of let you guys hold the floor and ask any questions you guys want. We'll try to get to them. After doing all the shows the last 5 days, we really didn't have, much to bring you guys tonight. But we want to let you guys kind of have the questions you want to ask about any guys we drafted. Travis Kelce's new contract, which we're going to talk about right now. But yeah, so guys, put your questions in the chat and we're going to get to them tonight because we're going to let you guys moderate and dictate the conversation tonight. So yeah, the floor is yours. But JD, before we get to that, we have to talk about the news that ran wild today. Travis Kelce, what you've been saying, the most underpaid guy in the NFL, and that is finally over, JD. So it was reported that it was a 2-year extension, but really it's just a new 2-year deal for Travis Kelce worth $34.25 million, replacing his previous deal where he had 2 years left on his contract, which is $30.25 million. So he's under contract through 2025, initially reported to 2027, which was not the case at all. So JD, before we get your reaction to it, Travis Kelce did have something to say about it earlier today. So this is what Travis Kelce had to say about his new contract.
Mm-hmm. Back at it again, baby. Woo! Have to see a little Super Bowl right there, man. Feels good to be in KC. I remember coming here 12 years ago, man. It's an honor and a pleasure, and I can't wait to get after it these next 2 years, but no better than right now. Getting fired up for this year. Just got out on the field with the boys. Doggone, we're back at it, baby. Chiefs forever.
I love that he got emotional there. It was supposed to be a pump-up video, but he got emotional thinking about the 12 years of being in Kansas City. And that's the part that stuck to me on that. But, JD, what are your thoughts on him, on the video, on him getting this finally, getting paid what he's worth? What are your thoughts on it, man?
Oh, man. First off, man, I can see why he's getting emotional. Something like that would pull it out of you, especially you start realizing how long you've been doing it, where you've been doing it, where all the love has been coming over these years. The amount of time and the pain and the effort and all those things that you work for every single day to get better, to show the people a great product out there on the field, to be the best. That's where all those things are drummed up, right? But I'm so happy for Travis. I am so happy for it. And to be honest with you, man, it's been past due. It has been past due that the best tight end in the NFL becomes the highest paid tight end in the NFL. And he should have been at probably 5 years ago. And I get it sometimes when it goes up at the market and it sets at where it is. But he's a special guy. He really is. He's a special tight end, and deservingly so. He should have got paid deservingly so. And I remember when Gonzalez was there, it was almost like a fight all the time. Tight ends, well, you're a tight end, and we want to only keep the market where it is. Well, these guys set the trend. Travis Kelce is not your typical tight end. He isn't. And so what he's able to do with his receptions and his contribution and production on the field is immaculate. It really is. And to get paid what he gets paid, when you watch it to compare it to like wide receivers, their production and how much they're getting paid, it's not even the same. And so he's been a weapon for the past few years, for a long time. And like I said before, man, this is well-deserved reward and honor, but it was long past due. But congratulations, Travis Kelce, for getting that bag, for securing that money, for becoming the highest paid tight end in the NFL. Well-deserved, no question about it. I don't think anybody would have a thought like, he shouldn't. No, this man deserves this money and even more. So, but yeah, congratulations to him. For sure.
That's 2 more years. And also, too, I mean, I think it highlights the fact, because a lot of people thought it was 2 more years. Like, oh, man, he's extending. He's going to be here till through 2027. But now it's really 2 more years. And now we know it's only really redoing his deal that he has right now.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that when 2 years is up, 2 years is up. I mean, do you think that means that?
Too early to say now, but my guess, possibly it is. And I'm thinking he's just giving himself that window to think about it. He'll definitely do the 2, right? And when it comes to him wanting to re-sign, it's all going to be based off where his body is feeling, how he feels like he's still accomplishing things. And so sometimes you get to the point where, look, I've done everything I need to possibly do. I don't need to go win no more Super Bowl rings. I don't need to get any more records. Like, I've done everything I could, physically do, emotionally give to this game. And he left it all out on the field. We've seen that. So that'll be up on him. And you know, we all get to that point. We all do. He had to see his brother go through that. And I think this is kind of indicative of some of the emotions of where his brother is, right? And just where he's living his life now. And Travis wants to start his own family. He wants to start his own thing. And so he's got a nice little gal on his arm, okay? A really sweet lady and Mrs. Swift. So you know, who knows? Maybe that transpires into something beautiful and blossoms into a marriage and a life together. So, but I know sometimes when you're giving your all in football, that is your life. That's what it becomes. But I like, because Travis does a little bit more outside of that he does a little bit of comedy, goes on TV, does some commercials. I mean, he's made for TV. He's made for it. You know, he's had such a very springy personality. And so he'll be welcomed anywhere he wants to go. He could do anything he wants to do after football. But I think it'd be just realize what he think he needs to do on the field to make that decision. So
yeah, TG walked so Travis Kelce could fly.
yeah, TG was flying too. But you're right. You're right. But but I always said that tight ends just didn't really get the type of notoriety like we should. Just didn't. You know, even though those guys were the ones that were just, putting up numbers what wide receivers were putting up. Yeah. And just as valuable. But still,
I was talking about from the not because obviously TG, what TG did on the field was great. I'm talking about like being a tight end, like that went in the media, like he was he was doing commercials. He's doing all types of things that you normally didn't see tight ends do. And it was usually quarterbacks, receivers, or running backs. TG was one of the first tight ends to do that, kind of break through that mold. And so that when I say he walks, so Kelce could fly, hosting, game shows and whatnot. But yeah, obviously what TG did on the football field, that's, you can still debate. You can still debate to this day.
I think TG's still getting used to like the whole Hollywood bit, you know what I mean? So he's still got like some of that tough guy edge to him. Mm-hmm. So he'll tolerate certain things sometimes, but he's starting to get into that realm a little bit more. That's just kind of TG and his personality, though, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. He don't like all the fluff and the grifts and stuff. If he feels tired of it, he won't do it. He's like, I ain't doing that. You could tell on the Thursday night broadcast when he's like kind of done with like a gimmick thing they're doing. You can just tell it's like, okay, he doesn't want to do this anymore. Like that game show they were playing after that was when the Niners played. It was that Stanford versus Cal thing, and he was so done with it. You could the didn't want to be involved in it anymore. Oh yeah. The funny thing is, we'll be texting all through all of that. It's crazy because we'll see him look at the phone or something. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't say that. Maybe we shouldn't talk about those things. But.
I was just checking the time. He's checking to see the That's all. Also, one thing I think I want to that stands out with Kelce now getting this. It's the fact that now Chris Jones is seemingly for the next couple of years will be in Kansas City, hopefully for the rest of his career. Andy Reid for the rest of his coaching career. Mm-hmm. Brett Veach, I don't know what's going to happen with him, but he's still a young guy. But, seemingly for the rest of his career could be a Kansas City lifer. Patrick Mahomes was the first one to ink in that decade-long deal. It's just nice to see that we're going to have the core guys that we always talk about, our big three between Chris Jones, Kelce, and Mahomes. Oh, yeah. These guys are going to be here in KC for the long haul, like lifers in Kansas City. And that's just today doing this with Kelce, making good on it because knowing that he was underpaid for what he brings to this team. It is nice to see these guys are, this is Kansas City is home to them. As he said in that video, it's home. And it has been for the last 12 years. It's just nice to see that everything they're doing for the team is, giving it back to them, right? And compensating them appropriately.
Well, I mean, I think they understand that the core group of guys had to be together and to make this whole thing work and happen. And they have the formula. They do. And so they feel like as long as they have those three together, Andy Reid, Spags, they could get this thing done. They're going to be able to win championships. They can will themselves to a championship, another Super Bowl. And that's a great place to be. It really is. Because, it's going to take more than just yourself. It's these other guys out here. right, to do it. Patrick knows he has to have, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes know they had to have Andy Reid. Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes know they need Chris Jones. That's why they made him the highest defensive player, right? Can you imagine not having Chris Jones last year when everybody wanted to get rid of him and all let him go and walk and he's asking for too much money? What would have happened? Where would we have been? So, I think the message is loud and clear by those guys. Like, look, we want to be family for a long time, okay? We want to win championships as long as we're here. And as long as we're here, we have a great chance on doing that, okay? We want to stick together on this whole plan. So, yeah, also Clark Hunt signed it. Yeah, well, Clark's going to be here. They are the Chiefs. So, for them, they understand the formula too. So, yeah, writing those checks, they got no problem doing that. I think this is definitely one of those that they should have gotten right a long time ago, but we won't talk about that. This is a top class organization, and they did right by Travis as they should have. So,
for sure, yeah, and that's the thing. Clark Hunt has been getting called out for many years being a cheap owner, especially with the NFLPA, the rankings of the facilities and all that stuff. I mean, he's come out of that whole thing, paying Andy Reid top dollar, paying Spags top dollar, paying Joe Cullen top dollar, paying Chris Jones top dollar, paying Travis Kelce top dollar. And obviously we know what he's paid Mahomes a couple of years ago. Yeah. But I mean, he's come out with this whole thing going from the cheap owner to giving out everybody top dollar. So yeah, maybe we need to update the facilities, but he's paying he's giving the do-re mi. He said the money speaks, money talks, and there you go.
Well, they say winning solves all problems. And so when you start winning and you bringing in the money, raining down on everybody get a little bit of this. Everybody get a little bit of that. So no, that's good. But definitely sometimes facilities, when guys come in, those things don't even matter. It's about winning. It's about core group of guys. Do you have the right fit in the family for a common goal to win it all? And they do. They got the magic sauce, the formula, whatever you want to call it. Okay, the equation, that's what it is. Okay, everybody else is the pieces around it. So this is how it needs to look. Okay, to keep winning Super Bowls. Okay, in the foreseeable future. Yeah, and I'm on board for all of it, man. So well done again. Congratulations. Salary cap increase helped keep those guys. Yeah, it did. Absolutely. And that's the timing of it too, because what you can eliminate. You know what kind of like your top dollar is, what you can and will do with the salary cap, how you can make it move, who you can get here, who you don't need to get here. And so that's why sometimes they do pass on particular talent, because talent ain't not necessarily not enough. Sometimes it's just the chemistry that you need to have with everybody that's in the room, right? Everybody's on the same page. They understand what it means. When you come into the Chiefs facility, they understand it's family. You got to mold into the family. That's what has to happen. And so this is that's important, man. That's important, and we like it. We love it because you know what? Super Bowl's been coming. Champions. That's why we get to talk, Marcus. We get up here and talk a little bit of this, right? And we get to show rubbing in people's faces and all. Everybody else talks around us, and we could just laugh at them and whatever. Hey. We love it. We love it. So that's the thing about it, man. That's why we're a family. Chiefs Kingdom. This is a great time. This is a great time to be a Chiefs fan. Okay. So
it really is.
John Clifford, I want some more of it. Yes, sir. We all do. So
yes, we do. And that was the question you and I talked about before we came on, JD. We kind of talked about how he says he has 2 years left. What if? So we got back-to-back right now. We go 3-peat next year, then we go 4-peat. So we're saying this guy's not going to stay on if a team is coming off a 4-peat. Like, come on, you got to run it back with 5-peat. You got to do something that pretty much no one does in any sport. That's not an NFL thing. No, I don't know how many 5-peats. I mean, besides the Boston Celtics, maybe do it back in the day during the Bill Russell days. I mean,
Bill Russell. Yeah, those guys were phenomenal. Yeah. But
outside of that, that's really you don't really in modern day sports. It's not a thing.
Yeah, it's incredibly tough in football. It's never been done before. So, could you twist his arm for that maybe the next year? Sure, probably, possibly. But it all depends, like I said, on what you need to have. So what do you want? Is that what he wants? When you get to that place and your body's telling you beaten up and all this, what do you want? Right. And so sometimes you got to compromise with yourself and really pull out what your heart desires. Okay. And so well, hopefully that's what that is. Hopefully it's a 4-peat, Marcus.
Hopefully. We get 3-peat first. 3-peat first, and then we can talk about.
Well, I thought we already had the 3-peat in the bag, brother. After we got this good draft coming in, right? So
you're right about that.
Yeah.
But to that notion about, as long as he feels like he can continue to play at a high level, Brett Veach said today when he saw Travis Kelce running routes today at the facility, he looked like he was 28 years old. That was a quote from Brett Veach today. So,
yeah, sure. Hey. I'll be running at 28. I get $17 million a year too. I'll be on my tiptoes running, sprinting, looking good, baby. Yeah.
Well,
that's the use out of you.
He's also, I think people forget that he got that injury right before week 1. Everyone's like, oh, man, he's old. Travis Kelce's washed. This dude literally, most people take about a month off during the season. This guy took 1 game off, play the entire season after that. The bone bruise that he had in his knee. And guess what? I mean, of course, the guy's going to look like a little hampered. He was playing with a knee injury to start the season out. Never really got time to recover from it. Yeah. Now he's got the offseason to recover from it. Of course, he's going to look 28 again. He's back to his normal self. So I mean, I don't know. For people who thought he was washed, a
lot of things can help you out to extend your career, the longevity of it. And I go back to Gonzalez, what I seen him do. He changed his diet into more of a plant-based diet, start taking care of his body a little bit different. You have some guys, man, who are they are anomalies. They are just like Wolverine, the healing process, and able to bounce back from particular things. And so, Tony played for 17 years. I think he missed 1-2 games in the whole time. It's crazy. In the NFL, same thing. Will Shields. I think Will Shields might have, all the stars he had. So, man, some guys just have it, and it's he's got it right now. He's got it. He's got that running through his blood. So that's it. So as long as he keeps it, and he keeps, hey, knock on wood, wherever it is, knock on wood, holds on to it for like the next couple of years. So
at least 2, and then after that we can revisit this whole thing again.
Oh yeah, I see everybody talking about all the people that UCLA basketball. Yeah, UCLA back then, of course, with Lou Alcindor when they had those guys, John Wooten. Yeah, no doubt they was doing it. Shoot, there's a lot of dudes.
TG still looks 32. Send Tony that one, JD. I'm sure he'll like that.
He'll gush over that one. I'm like, man, that hairline don't look no 32. We bag on each other. That's how we do. So you ain't gonna just let that sit in there and marinate. Okay, we ain't gonna let you just hold on to that one. So we got to talk about it now. But TG looks good, man. He does. He looks like he's turning around the clock. But he does a good job of taking care of his body. He does. He's very methodical about it, tedious in the things that he's doing, to eat well, take care of his body, works out. So
yeah, he's still a stud for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure. So we got some questions coming in here, JD. So Cameron Johnson, I may have missed this on a different episode. How do y'all feel about Wiley under Kelce's tutelage? Congrats to Travis on finally getting his green flowers after taking hits for the team.
Absolutely. Cameron, good seeing you. Great question. Okay. We discussed it a little bit yesterday. I think on Saturday too, somewhat. I think Wiley, he'll develop into a really good tight end in the NFL. And so he's in the best room he could possibly be in the NFL. He has Travis Kelce, one of the greatest tight ends ever played a game. Noah Gray, who has experience, and he got Irv Smith, who's been in a couple places and has got a lot of experience as well too. So he's going into a room with guys that will take care of him, teach him what he needs to know about being a pro, being an NFL, what's expected of him out there. But I do believe that he will, without a doubt, learn and eat up everything that Travis is throwing to him. And if he doesn't, that would be crazy. But he seems like a guy that would take any type of knowledge that is being spit to him, and he would just ingest it. And so hopefully that will be the case. I think he's going to be a really good tight end for the Chiefs. And so I want to speak about this because people always say, and what I've been seeing since he got drafted is he's Travis Kelce 2.0 or, baby Kelce and all these different things, right? And the guy hadn't caught not one ball in the NFL yet, right? And we get into these comparisons and everybody's, oh man, look at him. They about the same height, ran the same 40 time and all, and they start looking at measurables to compare a guy. And so you got to realize there's a lot more than just numbers, right? Like your measurement. Somebody could look, I think they had something, they were talking about, I forgot who it was, but they were saying, oh, well, look at it. He's 6'3", 245 pounds. It's like, yeah, but look what 6'3", 245 pounds look like on this guy. Totally different guy, right? We can sit there and see, like in the combine, I see guys all the time, same body types. They run close to the same speeds. They do the same thing as far as measurement wise. But when you get out there on the football field, it's a whole different ordeal. It is. It's a whole different world because you come into heart, you come into desire, you come into tenacity, you come into like football IQ and intelligence, things that Travis has that's very particular to him that Wiley doesn't necessarily have right now. Okay. And Wiley may never get, right? So I want to be fair to these guys. And when we sit there, we try to compare guys and everybody's trying to do the little, oh, look how he looks similar to Travis. Well, him and Travis are two different guys. Nobody knew Travis was going to be that guy when he came out. Maybe Wiley will become that dude. But right now, he's got a lot of growth to do to become Travis Kelce. That's a whole different thing all together. It's the same thing that they were using Xavier Worthy and John Ross's number. Well, look how fast he is. Oh, yeah, fast guys, they never do anything as far as wide receivers in the league. Well, that's not indicative of what his future holds for him because they run about the same just because he's a fast guy. Maybe we got the fast guy that catches every football, right? We don't know that. He ain't caught every ball. He ain't played not one down yet. Same thing. Worthy can't be another Tyreek Hill. Ain't no Tyreek 2.0. Let him just be Xavier Worthy number 1. How about that? Let's be fair to the guy, okay? Let him be the best possible Xavier Worthy that we got out here. So I don't like these comparisons. It's good for those guys to emulate that, but it's more important to give these guys fair space to make it or break it the way that they see. I want Jared Wiley to be the best. Learn everything you possibly can from Travis Kelce, but he don't have to be a Travis Kelce 2.0 or a baby Kelce. But they was like, oh, he's J Dunn 2.0. Hey, man, hey, all right, shoot. He's doing things a lot bit different to me, okay? And I see that in this blocking and stuff. It ain't taking nothing away from the guy. He has incredible ability. So I'm sorry, Marcus, I had to go there with it because I just wanted to make sure I talked about that.
You're good.
Yeah, no, so that's what I wanted to say because I know people talk about that and everybody jump on board. Oh, my God, yeah, baby Kelce. When Travis leaves, he's going to be Travis. No, don't expect that to happen. Let's just let him get in the locker room good and put on the shoes on the right foot, okay? And put his pads on right and then let him play.
What's ironic about this whole thing is I remember when we drafted Kelce, what did people call him? They called him Baby Gronk. and now look at it now. It's like everyone's saying Baby Kelce now. Just it's funny how like things change a little bit because his measurables, his size. There's a lot of things to love about Kelce when Kelce came out. But to go with your whole comparison stuff, I remember this one stands out to me. Growing up and stuff was when we drafted John Baldwin, and a lot of people in the chat can remember this. He went to Pitt. He was 6'4", 220. Who was the receiver that came out a few years before him that also went to Pitt, who was 6'3", 220. Baldwin also ran a 4.5. The other receiver who everyone was comparing him to ran a 4.6. So everyone's like, oh man, this guy's going to be a Larry Fitzgerald 2.0.
Yeah.
That happened. John Baldwin was out of the league within a few years after being drafted. And so it's like, that's why it's like, we're trying to compare people to certain people. It's like, you're giving these people, these players expectations, which they probably may never meet, but it's also like, it's ridiculous, really, because it's not fair to the guy the guy who is that Larry Fitzgerald or the guy who is going to be the next Larry Fitzgerald. No, he's going to be him, and whoever that is, that's it. You know, he's either going to be good or not. You can't say he's going to be the next Larry Fitzgerald, the next Travis Kelce. It's just
man.
I think Tasia made a good point, because when we talked about this yesterday or 2 days ago about Xavier Worthy, he's going to be the Tyreek Hill. It's not he's going to be Tyreek Hill, but he's going to provide something to our offense that we haven't had since Tyreek Hill. And that's two completely different things.
Sure. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, definitely. Lenny Dawson, numbers don't take into account the intangibles of a person. Absolutely not. Well said, Lenny. Well said. John Clifford said, didn't they call JD Little Tony? No, they didn't call no JD. JD came in before the league. I would always mess with Tony. I said, look, Tony, before you became Tony Gonzalez, you had a picture of me on your wall. That's what you was doing, okay? You came in the year after me. We always laugh about things like that. But I was like, hey, man, you wanted to be me. You was Tony Gonzalez and all of that. So, but yeah, man, but it is. It's, those numbers doesn't necessarily mean, just because you have the same measurables, you may look the same body type. Heck, we got the corner from Tennessee, Sneed looking body. Don't mean he's going to be Sneed. Doesn't mean that at all. He's going to be him, right? One of my favorite shows I like watching now, okay, American Idol. I got back and watching it, right? I love singers. I love for everybody come up there and just, belt out the sounds. And so when they're doing some of the rendition of the song, they try to sound so much like the artist. And it's like, just sing it your way. Rendition, that's what it is. Sing it your way. Why don't you just do it your way, right? You can make it yours. And so, look, my baby says, Jason tried to sing with. I do. I can hold a note every once in a while now. But I can't sing. Look, I try to sing like Michael Jackson, or I try to sing like Prince. I try to do those loud. I can't do it. My rendition. Thank you. Yeah. So that's the thing about I can't sound like those guys. I can't be those guys. Those guys had their own little twang and spice to it themselves, right? And so when I see the artists and they get on like, hey man, don't sing like Teddy Swims. Don't sing like him. You can't sing like that guy. Don't sing like Alan Stone. Okay? You can't sing like him. Don't come here trying to sing like Whitney Houston. We know you can't hit the high note like Whitney hits, right? Or Aretha, or be yourself. Now you can make it yourself, make it your own song if you want to do it that way. And I believe the same thing out there on the football field. Hey, you make it, you put your own little mix to it. Okay. Put your own little feel and, the little movements to it the way you want to. So,
since we're on that topic, guys, there was, I read a whole article about how Frank Sinatra's estate is pissed off about the AI, the songs that people who are using AI and they're making Frank Sinatra, and like they kind of changing these songs to make it big band with his voice and covering a lot of modern day songs. And there was one the other day I was listening to. I wanted to see some of the songs. So I looked up Billie Jean, Michael Jackson, but it was Frank Sinatra's voice. Exactly. It was like as if he just recorded it with like a big band kind of feel to it with the music and instrumentals. And honestly, JD, gotta say, it's pretty damn good.
Isn't it? Oh, I bet.
I went to a whole rabbit hole of all these Frank Sinatra AI songs. Michael Jackson, Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen, Frank Sinatra's voice.
Queen, yeah, yes.
All these songs with Frank Sinatra's voice, and it's like, what the heck? So it's just, it's a thing. It's like if they just did Frank Sinatra's voice with the Michael Jackson, how the song sounded, trying to mimic him, it wouldn't have sounded right. But whoever's generating these songs, they changed up the whole thing, made it more big band. They catered it to whatever kind of singer you are. He's a crooner, so they made it more of a crooner type of song. And it sounds nice when you do that, when you make it your own thing. It's like doing a remake of a movie. I think the one when they made the new Lion King, the animation one, the new animation, they put it side by side to the Disney one that came out in the 90s, and it was the exact same thing, but just more with the updated animation
to it. Yeah.
Why don't you just make it a little different, just so it's its own thing? Otherwise, we're watching the same movie. Just one was like cartoon versus this modern day animations and stuff. So it's like that with a lot of things.
Yeah, I think, and that is a whole different conversation, because some people was like, well, keep it somewhat similar. Don't change it up all the way, right? And you had some people go crazy about it. Oh my gosh, they changing what as a childhood how things were, and but I think you can do some things to pay homage to it and respect it, and still keep it somewhat, close to the original. I like his new Dune movie. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The original one was a flop in the box office. Apparently was one of the most not one of the worst movies ever made, but as far as the money they put into it, they didn't get it in return and stuff. And this one's killing it, but both so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Let me see. So Hazy asked, now that the draft is over, what is your biggest concern the team needs to address going into the season? Very good question. Very good question. So Hazy, I don't know if they'll address it or not. I'm gonna speak for myself. I thought that we should have gotten maybe more of a long-term deal with a defensive lineman, kind of a bigger guy, plug and play dude, than what we have to help out Chris. Those guys that we have now do a good job. Okay. I'm not down on those guys. I think they do a pretty good job. Vanell, Nandi, Warrington. I think we need a guy that is a disruptor inside even more. At times, I think they just kind of get lost in the things. So this is what I think they should address, at least the concerns. So, but they may not address it. I think they're fine. I think, with them, they're like, hey, we're good. We're going to go ahead and rock with it. And if they're fine with it, then I'm good with it. But I just thought having something like a long-term deal, getting a guy here ready to stay for Chris Jones' tenure, like we said, Chris Jones is going to be here for a number of years. Get somebody beside him to learn for those number of years as well, right? So,
yeah, that may be something that we look at next draft. That might be our top priority game, defensive tackle next to him.
Sure.
And that's the thing too, is what we looked at was the Rams. Obviously, when they had Donald, they ended up drafting Kobe Turner last year, who you were a big fan of. You said we wish we would have gotten him. They drafted a D tackle next to him last year. They were the top 3 or top 4 rounds. And then this year they went crazy. They got your guy Fisk, and they also drafted another, I think 2 more guys. So that's a team that even when they had a badass defensive tackle, they still used draft capital in the early rounds to go get a D tackle next to him, because they know, Donald, everyone surprised he retired as early as he did, but that's a guy who kind of had the burden of being the only guy on that defensive line for such a long time, of being the guy. So I don't want that burnout to happen with Chris Jones. I don't think it's going to happen, but I just don't want that burnout. We don't need extra wear and tear for the guy. Yeah,
and I agree. I think that's my thought process, is don't wear out Chris, okay? And if he leaves out, you want the talent to remain the same. You still want to be dangerous on the inside and productive when Chris goes out. And sometimes last year there was times we didn't quite see that, and teams attacked us immediately when Chris went out to the inside running the football. But I thought that was kind of a balance too. If you're worried about our corners maybe not covering as good as Sneed, then you get somebody to pressure from the inside as well with Chris Jones, as opposed to just our defensive end possibly doing it and getting out. We're not going to have a Menahu for a number of games, so we don't know how long he's going to be out. So I know he's been working out, trying to get back. But we'll see what King Felix is going to do with Tomba, who's been working with him. So I know he's going to be a lot better than what he was.
I'm excited for
all
year
those
two of him. I think he's never really. I hope wishful thinking on my part, but also Tamba. We saw what he did with Karlaftis. I think King Felix is a different type of athlete and different type of player that I think he could do a little something special with him and seeing his year two and how he kind of unfolds in this year two.
Yeah, he needs to stay with him. He needs to stay with
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a question here from our Charles Driver. What's your best pick of the draft? Mine is Kingsley. JD, we went over this on our show yesterday. Your favorite pick? Who is for people who didn't watch the episode yesterday?
Yeah, mine was Worthy. It was Worthy, and the safety, Hicks.
Hicks. Yep.
That was my two. I said I needed two, so those are my two favorite. Worthy because he gives us that dangerous offensive weapon again. Besides Hollywood Brown, like I said, it's going to be a track meet out there, man. They're going to be just pressing defenses. They're going to be threatening them every single snap. And so we've missed that. But now we got it back. We got a legitimate back. Hicks is a guy because his versatility. He's a baller. Like I said, if he was on any other team, he would be a starter. He's going to be working in, playing a lot for us this year because they know of his talent. So don't waste him on special teams. He'll be in there. But Spags he'll have some packages for him to come in because he want to see what he can do. And he will not disappoint. He will not disappoint at all. So Wendy said Chris was tired last season. He was carrying so much. He needs help. Yes, he was tired. Thank you, Wendy. You recognized it. A lot of people recognized it. Chris was just beat up. I mean, the man is being held, double teamed practically every single play. The teams are like, we're just going to wear him out. So why, if that's your investment, protect your investment. Okay. So
same reason why we want another receiver or another guy to take the load off Kelce, because we don't want the more wear and tear on him. And there you go. That's why we went out and got Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy to try to hopefully take the load off Kelce.
Yeah, for sure. Lacey Snake, what's the bad stuff about Kamal Hayden? Keep seeing people say it was a bad pick. You know what? I really don't know. I don't know if they feel like he moves the needle or not. Maybe they feel like he's just redundant because we got a lot of corners already in the room. That could possibly be it. I don't quite know. I hadn't really delved into that, Lacey, as yet. I thought it was a good pick. I think he's a good special teamer that we can play. If he turns into what we want to do, right, and goes into the whole being like Sneed looking body, we'll do it. Let's wish upon a star. Throw a penny in the well and see what's going on with it. But we may find something good here.
Well, Shamari Conner had the same makeup, like height and weight, and his wingspan of JariusSneed. So and he looked pretty solid last year. But the big thing is what you mentioned, JD. A lot of people were upset because I feel like we already have a plethora of amount of DBs. He didn't need to spend any more capital on DBs. And the other thing was that a lot of people are basing it on his PFF grades, but he only played in 6 or 7 games last year. And then
he hurt his shoulder, right?
His shoulder was coming off an injury. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of thing too. Some of that. Also, he went to community college for 2 years. Then he played for Tennessee. Played in 6 of 9 games his first year. Then last year only played in 7 games because of the injury. So that's where I don't think people were upset with the player. It's more so we don't really know much about him because he hasn't played a full season. And people just didn't, like JD said, people didn't want another DB, and that's kind of where they come from.
So, John, that's kind of what that making sound like a crapshoot is. We don't know, can he stay healthy? Can he stay on the field? But I like that he came from a small community college, Independence Community College, actually. And that just shows that he has, some tenacity and some moxie about him. He wanted to get things done. So he went from a small community college to being in NFL drafted. Got to love a guy like that. Right?
A fighter for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So we got a question from Kyle Molsky. Question for you fellas. Do you think there's a chance we sign a DB like Gilmore or potentially get a wide receiver like OBJ? If so, what position or player would y'all want? Or do you think the roster is solid?
I think we're good at DB. Wide receiver, I think they may try to seek out someone else. I don't know. I think Veach said that he was hollering at some free agents that was interested in coming to Kansas City. We don't know who that free agent is and what position. I don't know if he said, did he say the position? I'm not sure. But I would rather have a wide receiver, possibly a veteran guy, because you got so many young guys. Your oldest guy in there is Hollywood Brown, right? So get somebody in here who's been around, the world for a while, so and knows what he's doing. So he's been in a couple of locker rooms.
How old is our receivers coach, JD Embry? How old is he?
Oh, let me see. Connor is let me guess. I'm guessing Connor may be 27, 28. I'm thinking.
Do you
maybe
think
30, I'm not sure. He's around there. Go ahead.
When you had your position coaches, were they were the older variety? Because like maybe there is a strategy here where they think, okay, get a younger guy, maybe a younger coach can connect with younger guys. Whereas you bring in an older guy, like for example, OBJ.
Yeah. Is
OBJ going to listen to Connor Embry? Is he going to? He's 3 or 4 years older than him. He'd seen it all, like kind of thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe is there a strategy to having a younger room to kind of respect the younger wide receiver coach rather than bringing an old veteran to come in to, I don't know.
Well, I'll put it this way. I think because of kind of what went on last year and everybody's getting to know each other, I think it's going to be known if you come in here, you're going to have to listen to him. Okay. Take all his toolage, everything he's given. And Connor's been around the game for a long time. His dad was my tight ends coach. He is the assistant head coach with the Miami Dolphins. So he knows what he's talking about. And he's definitely going to say that. But I think if a guy comes in as a veteran, he will. I think if OBJ came here, he respect it. He would. Because part of it is your legacy too, right? You don't want to be the bad apple or the guy that's not listening. Okay. Now he may have his style about doing things, and you got to talk to him, get on the same page. Like, hey man, look, hey coach, don't worry about it. I got you. I got your back. I got you. And so a veteran guy will come in just like that. Like, coach, don't worry. I got you. I keep these guys straight. I make sure of that. So I don't have any question as far as them understanding that. I think with Connor being his first year, getting into it, understanding, and these guys like, okay, it used to be the, quality control guy. Sometimes it's hard when you're there, but when you come from a different place, Mr. Coach, you almost immediately demand respect, and they should. So
your coach, man. No matter how old he is, and that's your coach. You got to respect it, especially if you want playing time too.
So, okay, real quick story. All right. So when I came to Philly, John Gruden was the youngest offensive coordinator in the league at that time. Okay, he kind of was like the offensive genius, the guru. I remember Richard Cooper was our left tackle. Big Coop. We were sitting in the locker room one day, and Gruden comes in. He had that little scowl and stuff, trying to look a little tough and all. And Cooper said, it just started laughing. I'm like, Coop, what are you laughing at? He said, man, this dude right here used to wash out jock straps in Tennessee. Hey, Coop, just being funny. I'm sure you didn't do that. But he was just saying that Gruden at the time was he was a quality control guy, okay? He was just a dude trying to get his feet wet. And so that was kind of funny just saying that, how guys maybe look at dudes. You know what I'm saying? When you're young. That's the truth. So
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. I'm like, really? Yeah, he's like, yeah.
So we got a question here from Rick Henderson. Why do you think Brandon Rice went so late in round 7? That is interesting. I think we kind of briefly touched over that. Why do you think he went so late, JD?
I think they didn't really see explosion what they wanted as far as him running routes. Even though he has, the will and the want to, I think they needed to see a little bit more. And so, of course, his production was a little bit low. Obviously, you got Caleb Williams. Okay, there's another guy who was comparing to Patrick Mahomes, just saying that. So we know comparison. Let's throw that away. Okay. But they probably figured that he produced a little bit more with this phenomenal quarterback, right, throwing the football to you. And he did. He produced somewhat, but he didn't put up the numbers that everybody would think that you would have their first-round draft pick being, right? And they said that maybe some of his route running or the route tree was limited on what they did offensively. So that was some of the knocks. Me as a coach, I wouldn't have hesitated to take Rice 4th or 5th round. Not at all. He would have probably been one of my 2nd, 4th round picks. I'm like, pick him up. Let's go. Okay. He would have been a workout animal. He'd have been the one setting by example, even though he's young, on how to do it and how to be a professional. Not to mention, you got Jerry Rice looking over your shoulder every chance you got. I'd have loved it. So that's why I think that he went late, maybe because of that. So sometimes those legacy guys, and you see, like Trotter, I thought Trotter would have went a little bit earlier too.
Yeah.
So, you know.
You would think the legacy guys would go earlier, but I guess, yeah, maybe teams think because the last name they got further rather than their talent. I don't know. Yeah,
and Rick, he ran a 4.52. He ran like a 4.53 or something like that. It didn't wow you. It didn't wow you. Especially got these other receivers. Everybody run 4.3, 4.4. He runs a 4.5. They're like, I seen him after he got finished running. He was like, dang, like he knew it was a bad time. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to be 4.4, get you up a couple of rounds. So,
yeah, I still think it's funny that San Francisco went 2 receivers and Miami went 2 receivers, and they both have 2 solid receivers. But I mean, I know San Francisco, they have a whole murky thing going on with that receiver situation. But yeah, I would have loved to have got one more, and he would have been great.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a few more guys, and that'll be it for the night. Then we're gonna JD wants to say a few words at the end in regards to a certain topic. So D+ veteran left tackle, push the young guys. JD, do you want to bring back Donovan Smith? That's probably what he's asking.
I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. I like Donovan. At the right price for sure. They'll learn a lot. Kingsley will learn a lot from Donovan. So I don't think that'd be an issue and a problem.
There's some people out there that Kingsley's going to be the guy this year, or one of our guys, Lance, already tweeting about Kingsley being the guy, the left tackle of the now and of the future.
Oh, we'll see. Too early to tell. You can say that all we want to, but it might not be in the cards. It may not be at the practice. Wanye may be the guy. It's easy to say these things when he's going to be the guy. We don't know that. Okay, so Delmonte Green Beans, you just getting on here, man. Where you been at?
Come on, getting some lag on my head. You know, 8 p.m. is a spot for us. Or tonight we started late tonight too. He had a chance to come on.
Oh, Lewis Cutbirth is here. What's up, Lewis? Coming in.
And Lewis is a Xavier Worthy guy now. JD, he went a complete 360 from draft night to being a big fan. He thinks he's gonna have 1,000 yards this year. I saw one of his comments.
There we go. Good.
This is from our friend Kathy, a big time subscriber. You guys think Brian Cook's injury set him back to start this year?
Yeah. And he's going to earn his spot, especially after injury, because you never know how his body's going to respond to after this injury, right? That's what you got to watch. And so you'll know that in mini camps, OTAs, training camp, if he's going to be the guy. We know Connors is here. He's a guy that can play that position. We need to. That's why they got another safety, right? So just in case these things happen. Cook, we know he has great ability. It's all about how his body will look after this whole injury. So it's a setback just because of the injury in itself, right? And none of us are the same after injuries. Just never are. So
it's so weird how, and they're kind of weird about that injury. Remember, we thought it looked disgusting, the still shot of how bad the ankle looked. Then all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, he avoided a break. It's just a sprain. It's just an ankle sprain. Okay, well then he missed the following 5 weeks after that. We never saw him again. So it's like, what was it? I mean, it had to have been more than just an ankle sprain, right? I mean,
yeah. So they always say that sometimes it's better to break your ankle as opposed to getting an ankle sprain. I've always heard that. And they say just because you could just re-injure it, try to get back, because there's more ligaments and all those different things as opposed to with a bone. So, if you try to rush back and all of a sudden you got a setback, then it's like, oh, okay, well, shoot. We're going to let it ride. We had a great safety in Mike Edwards anyway, so it wasn't like you had to rush back, right? So I think that was really the thought process, just to make sure he's all right. And so maybe where he had this time to get his body all the way right, I think he may come back, like he was before, hopefully. At least hunt daggone close to it. I hope he does. Because that joker's a baller. I wanted him here in the draft process. We got him. I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, we got cooked. So
yeah, he's coming back to a packed room full of talent with Hicks, Shamari Connor. We don't know what position he's going to play next year. We don't know where Nazee's going to be. So it's going to be a packed room this year.
Yeah.
So this is the last question we're going to take for the night. I see. So Michael Thomas or Randall Cobb be possible veterans to bring in. Surprised they are free agents. JD, what do you think? Well, obviously, we always hear about OBJ. What do you think about these two? I think I'm more in on Michael Thomas. I am on Randall Cobb just for he's a little bit younger. He's got a little bit more in the tank, I think.
Man, he's had a ton of injuries though with Michael Thomas. That's the thing about him. We're just talking about that before. I don't know. If it has to be between those guys, I like Randall Cobbs is a Kentucky guy from over here. Okay, right. I kind of know him. He's in our Kentucky Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's a member with your boy JD. I like my boy Cobb to get there, and he's solid. He's more of a slot guy. Michael Thomas, he can play inside and out. Cobb is more regulated to the inside. So.
All right. There you go. JD's sticking with the hometown right there. Sticking with Kentucky, baby. Is he from Kentucky? I know he went to Kentucky. Is he from Kentucky?
No, he went to UK, but I think Cobb's from Tennessee.
Okay. I
think so. Either Tennessee or Georgia. I could be wrong on both fronts. I don't know. But I know he went to UK. So he talked to him. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. Solid cat.
Seems like a good guy for all the interviews I've seen with him. Hard Knocks last year. Yeah, he seemed like a really stand-up dude.
Yeah, for sure. Got his head on straight.
Yes, sir. We want to thank everyone for your questions tonight. You guys are great bringing the heat with your questions. Loved it. A nice variety of draft stuff mixed in with the current room that we have and everything. JD, you want to take it away with our final little topic here, buddy?
Oh, yes. So final topic here, man, is something I wanted to do last week. We kind of got, busy doing things, and I thought it was going to be some news breaking. But one of my brothers from the Chiefs, first round pick, Victor Riley, guy I played beside and with for a couple of years when I first got to Kansas City. He was one of the first guys I met when I got here. And he was so a good dude. He was a Chief. That's what he was. First round pick, Victor Riley. And I seen where they had talked about him down there in with the Saints, because he went there to the Saints. We got Willie Rofe. I think that was the trade in that. But yeah, Victor unfortunately had passed away. Actually, about a week and a half, couple weeks ago. We didn't really get to talk about it. He was good friends with Warfield. And those guys, man, took us by shock. But Victor was a guy, man, that we loved to laugh with. He was a funny dude. He would call everybody Puddin'. That was his name for everybody. Hey, Puddin', what you doing, Puddin'? So if you complain about that, oh, look at Puddin'. Yeah, that's what he would call you, Puddin'. So that's my brother. So I wanted to show that, man. I'm can't believe the Chiefs hadn't said anything yet about this. I thought something would come up. I had to put something on Twitter and let people know when these things happen. But maybe sometimes it just get lost in the shuffle of things when so much is happening right now in the world and whatnot. But I think we just got to take a moment and honor one of my brothers in football and life, one of my friends, loved him dearly, Victor Riley. Matter of fact, he was the one that gave me the name Dungeon. Everybody they call me Dungeon. So if you ever say Dungeon, Victor Riley is the one that gave me that name Dungeon. That's my brother right there. So, Vic, man, love you. All right. Till we see each other again, brother. All right. Rest in power, rest in peace. All my thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family. But I just want everybody here, Chiefs Concerns, to know that a chief soldier had fallen. And so, we thank God for him. Thank God for him. So, and I thank God for each and every one of y'all coming out here to be able to hear that and seeing it, but also too just being able to experience these things, these personal things that we have with one another. That's why I say, man, when we hear at Chiefs Concerns, man, we are family. I look at y'all as a family. Love each and every one of you guys out here. So I don't want to get too misty-eyed on this, but it'll get me. So just let y'all know that, okay? That y'all love by JD, love by each and every one of y'all, but my man right here, Victor Riley. So yeah, if y'all just, say those things, man, appreciate it for sure.
It's nice little memory there, buddy.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. I know, we kind of talk about it. So these things are just bigger than football, man, but you get these families and you have these memories with each other that is, just so deep in your heart, in your spirit, in your soul, that guys are more than just football players, really. And so, yeah, all praises, man. So we just regular people, so we mourn each other. We share the burdens of life on each other's shoulders, and that's what we're here to do. So I'm a big man of faith. I'm all about loving one another the way that we should, and praying for anybody if they ever need it from me. You got it. So, but love y'all. We won't come down on it, man. But just let y'all know, man, y'all loved by JD. Marcus, man, love you, brother. And I love you to death, man.
I love you too, man. And we love everybody. It was a great show. Like I said, it was nice to hear from everyone, all the questions you asked, and also nice tribute at the end for Victor Riley. And I think I saw somebody in the chat there. Once a Chief, always a Chief. And
that's right.
Always a Chief, baby.
Always a Chief.
Yeah. So with that being said, so this brings us to the end of the episode. Again, thank everyone for chiming in and engaging with us tonight. A lot of newcomers on the chat tonight. But we'll be back Wednesday night, 8 p.m. for our usual spot to talk about all the current events in the Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation and engaging with you all. I love all the questions. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, Wendy. Dungeon. That's what they call me. Dungeon. Matter of fact, y'all let me see some episodes from JD down in the dungeon too. So it's going to come up. Yeah, we'll see it. We'll see it.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's when we've had some of the former guys come on, when they call you Dungeon, I'm sure they picked up on that. I don't know if they've had or not.
Sure.
All right, everybody. Well, we'll see you guys. Hope everyone has a good night. We'll see you guys
good
Wednesday
night, Puddin'. Good night, Puddin'.
Good night,
That's
Puddin'.
right. Love y'all.
Love you, brother. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.